Today we're going to be installing a CarPlay and Android Auto unit on my sister's Mazda CX-5. We got a very bare bone instruction manual that we're going to be using to install this, all the plug and play cables, the mounting bracket, more cables, and then our unit itself. So this is the screen itself, and as you can see, it's very big. So this is going to look very nice once we finally install it. So let's go ahead and get this done. We got the pry tools right here, so we're going to start prying this panel off, and then that should give us access to get to the mounting bracket and get rid of the stereo. So I've gone ahead and pry off this panel. Now when you're prying this panel off, you want to keep in mind this clip that you're going to have to remove, because this is what's connecting the hazard lights, and once you disconnect that, you should be able to free it out. So to get this panel off, once you've carefully pried out all the tabs, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them, and as you can see, they go into the appropriate slots as shown here. But once you do that, you're going to essentially kind of turn this a bit so you can have access to, I don't know where that cable went. Here it is. If it wants, there it is. So once you turn it, you're going to be able to press down on this tab and then remove it. So once you get the panel off, there is that right there we're going to have to remove. So you're going to need some extensions to get to it. That's the screw, it just fell off, but it's essentially a 10 millimeter. So to remove this trim piece itself, it's a two-hand operation. You're going to grab by the bottom here, and using equals amount of force on both hands, you're just going to pull straight away. It's held together by, I want to say, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 9 tabs right here that go along. So once we have that, we're going to be able to access these Phillip head screws, which will enable us to effectively remove the stereo system. So when removing these screws, you want to be very careful. I made a huge mistake. One of them fell into that crevice. I don't think I'm ever seeing it again. So in order to better prepare and to not make the same mistake, I put like a cloth or maybe like a piece of paper just to prevent those screws from falling in. But we've removed both of them, and from there we should be able to pull out the unit and disconnect it. So once again, you're going to use both hands, and you're going to pull on these 2 tabs on each side and just pull forward. Once you do that, you're going to have access to these cables, so we're going to go ahead and disconnect them. So I've gone ahead and plugged everything in. Well, mostly everything. This is everything that should work. So I'm going to go ahead and try to start the car. It's a little difficult with just one hand, but let's see where that damn key fob go. Okay, so we gone ahead and started it, and thankfully everything works pretty well so far. So with mounting the bracket onto the unit itself, it's pretty easy. You just slide it through this hole, and then you slide forward, and it should keep it in place. Testing the function, and the reverse camera works, so that's a good thing. We're going to go ahead and finish the rest of this install. So I've gone ahead and fully installed the unit, and so far everything works great. However, there are a few qualms that I have about the product. The first being that it doesn't come with any aux port itself. It just comes with the RCA cable, so you're gonna have to get that yourself and install it. Unfortunately, let's see if I can find it right there. The USB port and the aux port that you see right there, they're both there, trust me. Unfortunately, do not work anymore. The USB port itself still works to charge, however, it will not connect to the unit. Instead, they give you these 2 ports that I was able to wire in through the glove box. I might, depending if my sister wants it or not, but this has wireless CarPlay. She's more concerned with using wireless CarPlay than wired, but using this will give you wired CarPlay and also charge your devices. But essentially what I was thinking is maybe getting like one of those USB extension cords and then running it through here and into the glove box. Also was thinking about doing that with the aux, but aside from that, everything works great. It is surprisingly responsive. So far the radio and everything works. I've tested CarPlay on it. I'm gonna go ahead and test Android Auto, however, I'm assuming it's a similar result. But like I said, the most important thing was just, I guess the most frustrating thing was getting the steering wheels controlled to finally work. However, once I fooled around with the unit, I was able to make that happen. Took a lot of messing around to figure out how to program the steering control buttons, but eventually I figured it out. So essentially you're going to go onto your settings, and then what you want to do is, if you look at your steering wheel, there's going to be these buttons, right? So go onto your settings, and on the left hand side you're going to scroll down, and you're going to go on to factory. Onto factory, you're going to go car model. Once you click car model, you can see right there you're going to stick with simple. And then once you're on simple, when it says series, you can see all the different manufacturers. This is a Mazda CX-5, so you're going to hit Mazda, and then from there you're going to be able to select your certain model, which for this case is the CX-5. Now you're going to go back to the left-hand side and select General, then you're going to Key Learning, and on Key Learning, you're going to select Panel Key Learning. And then from here, you're going to be able to essentially program whatever you need to do. So in this case, we're going to be doing, I believe, the volume up and also the volume down. So go ahead, select whatever you need to select. Once selected, you're going to hold the key for 3 seconds, and then it's going to learn whatever function you inputted. And that wraps up the installation and also the setup of the unit. As you can see, the fitment is rather good. There are a few noticeable gaps on the top here, but the screen covers it, so overall I'm pretty content with the unit itself. What's nice about the unit is that it's not too big nor too small. It looks just right, and honestly I'm really blown away by how OEM it looks. It looks like something that came out of the factory itself. Overall, I'm very happy with the purchase of the unit, and I would highly recommend anyone who is looking for a similar solution to install onto their Mazda CX-5. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped. Enjoy.